I want to say to my babies that your mama loves you so much.
Across 9 emotional days,
I can't even describe what I'm going through. I mean, my heart is just, it just aches so bad.
At this point, based on what happened last night, do you know anything better about it now than you did last night?
No. They've got people everywhere looking for them. I mean, you know, you can hear the helicopters are there, and but they haven't seen anything, and it's crazy. And it's been since 9 o'clock last night, you know, and I really thought that when it got daylight they would find them just in a heartbeat, but they haven't.
Was there anything about the demeanor of the man that gives you concern?
No, in fact, when he made me get out of the car, I tried to get my children. I just begged him, please let me take them. And he said no, he didn't have time because they were in car seats and it was going to take time for me to get them out of the car seat. And he just told me, he said, but I won't hurt them. And he just took off. But he had a gun, and my big thing is they were screaming, hollering, crying. And I'm just scared that he just lost his patience or something, you know. Yeah, I don't know. All I'm doing is just praying and just keeping my faith that they're going to be okay.
You've never seen this guy before?
No, sir. Never.
And he just came out of the blue?
I was stopped at a red light, and I was looking this way, looking toward the left, and it was just like, in a second, he was in my car. He just opened the car door, and I just screamed. I said, what are you doing? He just shut up and drive, and he had a gun, and he was poking it in my side, you know, and told me to drive. And so I drove, and I was trying to ask him one time, you know, why, what do you want? You know, please just, you know, don't hurt me or the children. He said, and he never said anything. All he ever told me was, shut up or I'll kill you. He said, don't say anything else. And my children were crying, and I was trying to tell them, you know, that it was okay, that, you know, don't worry. And he would, you know, and he let me talk to them. And then we just got maybe 3 or 4 miles down the road, and he told me, he said, I want you to stop. And I said, stop right here? He said, yeah, stop right here. And it was just in the middle of the road. I mean, you know, and I stopped, and he told me to get out, and I was in the driver's side, he was in the passenger side, and so I opened the door. I said, I'm going to get my children before I go. He said, no, you can't. He said, I don't have time for that. You know, he just, and sort of pushed me on out the door, helped me get on out the door, and he slammed the door and took off. And I ran to the closest house that I could. And
I'm really sorry.
I remember this story very well. Susan Smith, back in 1994, was 24 years old with 2 small children, little boys, Michael 3 and Alexander 1. She was married to David Smith, the father of the boys. She was also having an affair. The man that she was involved with, he didn't want to be with her because she had children. At least that was the excuse that he told her. So she had a plan. Instead of asking her husband for a divorce and telling him, you can have the children too, it would be much easier to end their lives. She rolled her babies while they were strapped in their car seats into a South Carolina lake, and she watched them drown. A black man had kidnapped her sons during this carjacking, and he promised not to hurt them. You can imagine it was a 9-day manhunt. How every black man or any man that looked black was getting pulled over and questioned about these children. But she knew what she had done. And later on, everybody would find out what she had done. That she killed her children for a man that she would never be with. Now, at the time, her lawyer said that Susan had been sexually assaulted by her stepfather and that she was suffering a mental health breakdown. So, that was the reason that she ended her boys' lives. Susan Smith received life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Even though prosecutors sought for the death penalty, she got life imprisonment. She had completed 30 years as of November 20th, 2024, today, at Leith Correctional Facility in Greenwood, South Carolina. Susan Smith went before the parole board. The audio did not come out correctly, so I will just briefly tell you what both of them said at the parole hearing, or at least what Susan Smith said at the parole board. She admitted that what she did was horrible and that she would give anything to go back and changed it. She sniffled a little bit. She was asked, was she on drugs or alcohol that day when she murdered her kids? She replied, no, ma'am. She was asked, would she continue to receive mental health care when she's released, and she did agree to do that. I didn't see anything that was outstanding or something that would even show that maybe she was remorseful. In that brief interview that took about under 8 minutes, I didn't really see anything, and neither did her ex-husband and father of these two boys, David Smith. He says it's been a tough 30 years. He was only there to advocate on Michael and Alex's behalf as their father, not to speak about what she's done over these 30 years since she's been in prison. He said God gives us a free choice, and she made a choice to end their lives. This was not a mistake. She purposely meant to end their lives. He said she changed his life for the rest of his life. What she did not only to Michael and Alex, he came close to ending his own life. He added 15 years per child is not enough. The laws back then was very different than they are now. So he's asking that they did not let her out today. He also said, I miss them and I love them. And he will be there every 2 years to ensure that these boys did not die in vain. She was denied parole. Continuous justice for Michael and Alex. Rest in peace.